Thanks again for stopping in with us. We're going to be building another shop truck. We picked out a kit to do on a 54 Ford pickup. We just got our frame back from being prepped and then back from the powder coater. Traditionally, we always go with the silver vein on the chassis, and we use all of our brackets being just a flat 60/40 black. All right, when you send your chassis down and get it powder coated and sandblasted, what you're going to need to do is all your brackets are going to be off. Make sure you take a lot of photographs so you know where these brackets, what they look like, where they need to go. With not having anything in the very back of the frame to be able to help support it, you can take a piece of 1-inch square tubing or anything that you can find. We just took some angle iron, took it, drilled some holes, made it match up to the back, just enough to kind of keep that thing from spreading the frame so it wouldn't lose any of what you have when it comes back. When you do get it back, one of the first pieces that you're going to want to probably try to get in there is going to be like the shock bar. It's probably one of the easiest. Then you can move into the Camel Hump. The secret about all this is to making sure as you get all the bolts started. Leave it loose. Don't worry about trying to tighten anything up. Now, I've already started putting in the shock bar and started noticing the same problem that you're going to face just like we do all the time. What happens is with all the bracing off, the frame has a tendency to spread itself out. So very carefully and easily, all you need to do is just take the ratchet strap, anything you got there, and just push this around the frame, okay? Just so you're going to be able to go someplace from side to side that you can actually pull it back together. The magic number from the outside of frame rail to outside of frame rail is going to be 40 inches. If you can put enough tension onto it to make the holes line up, that's what you're needing to do. What we ended up doing was we took our ratchet strap and kind of put it in a position where it's going to be out of our way, kind of in between the shock bar and where I'm going to be standing right here with the Camel Hump. Now, a lot of times you're going to find yourself, your buddies can't help you out, so you got to be kind of thinking about what you can do about helping yourself. Some of these brackets can be kind of hard to hold up or a little bit heavy. What we ended up doing was I ended up starting on one side, just got a bolt, shoved in here, nothing's tight, very loose. Then I ended up just finding some clamps in the shop, was able to clamp up the other side, get my bolt started, and kind of put it into place. Using the nut and the washer, just kind of place it. Like I said, again, leave everything loose. It's going to be a lot better for you to be able to adjust it as you're starting to put this thing all together. So now I have that in place. Kind of take your clamp off. Get ready to start putting on your other brackets. The back brackets that you're going to be on the support of the shock brace, will actually just go on the bottom side. And you're going to end up using a 1/2 inch bolt here, 3/8 and 2 3/8 on the back side of the shock bar. All right, what we're doing here is these back braces off the shock bar. What these are just what we call back shock bar gussets. You're going to find 2 3/8 holes in the front of this, and then they're going to actually match up to the inside, or excuse me, on the back side of your shock bar. That'll be the first 2 that you're going to want to put in. Starting your bolts in from the back side or the underside of your shock bar, placing the bracket over on top. Then you'll be able to put your washer, your star washer, and your nut and draw it up. Just like I said, hand tight for right now. We've got other holes that we'll show you that we're going to have to be pulling together and bolting. All right, what you're going to find out is you're going to also need to get yourself a couple of lineup pins or a couple punches that you can use as lineup pins. They're going to be kind of become your best friends from time to time. What I'm going to end up doing here is after we got these 2 bolts started, the back gusset is actually on the back side of the shock bar brace. Just kind of put one in, find the hole. That'll help kind of pull things around. What you can do then is just drop in that 3/8 bolt. Just enough to kind of get it started for you. Make sure you got your flat washer, your star washer, and using your nut. We've got 1 bolt started here, so you're going to find out it's going to be really easy to be able to put in your last 2 bolts. I always kind of go off and using this, and I can push it around from forward to back. Drop in your 1/2 inch bolt. Same thing. Lineup pin can come out. Use your flat washer, your star washer, and always put your nut on. Now since we got our shock bar kind of put into place, and then again, everything is left loose. Our next biggest panel that we're going to work with, our cross brace, is going to be the Camel Hump. Now you're going to see that in the Camel Hump on the back side, it's actually going to be facing towards the rear of the frame. You're going to find some long oval slots. In this bracket, you can use these for exhaust hangers. That's what they were designed for. So we're going to go ahead and kind of put it in place and just hold it up there. What we did on the Camel Hump, we go ahead and got one side of it started up there. Same thing is going to be again. Take that clamp that I was telling you about earlier, kind of put everything up in there in place, put it over there so it'll hold it, and then you'll be able to get your other side of your bolt started. Now since we got the Camel Hump kind of put into place, all 4 bolts are started. They're just loose. You're going to find there's going to be a left and a right, driver and passenger side of what we call the down supports. Same basically design as what GM made with the original Camel Hump, but by doing this, it's going to be able to tie in the bottom portion of the frame back up to the Camel Hump. What I'd recommend again, start with the 2 easiest bolts, get these kind of going in place, and you're going to find out that the offset holes will line back up to the original rivet hole that you have into the frame that you were taking out. Now since you got both of those kind of holding in place, you're going to use your line-up pin one more time, and you're going to start finding these holes in the bottom. By able to push that around, you're going to be able to drop your bolt or push it into place. I recommend taking the bolt and starting from the bottom side of the frame and pushing it so the nut is actually on the top side. When you are down underneath your car later on and wiping things down, you don't snag your hand on an open bolt. Alright, so we went ahead, we put in our Camel Hump, our down supports are in place. This is the time you can actually take off your strap that you need. Everything again is still left loose. Highly recommend it every time. You got a lot of guys that call up all the time and say, hey, this won't line up in the holes. Leave everything loose until you get everything put into place with your brackets, and then start going back and tightening it all up. Alright, what we're going to show you today is how you're going to be putting the transmission crossmember in. There's actually made up of 3 different pieces. You're going to have a side saddles, and then we're going to have the main crossmember. Now the side saddles themselves, there is a passenger and a driver's side. They are going to be on the outside of these things. They're going to be actually formed for the angle of the frame. But if you look on the inside of the frame, every time when it comes out underneath the bottom side, these slots are actually going to end up running completely parallel with the frame. So we've already got our driver, our passenger side on here already. So what we're going to be looking at doing now is it's going to be on the driver's side. Now, the years of different frames there are, from 82 to 93 of the open channel year frames, like this one, where you can actually stick your hand up into the frame. The later model ones, from 94 up to 04, are going to be more of a boxed in. So you may end up having to use a longer 4.5 inch bolt, half-inch bolt, and drilling all the way from the outside through into the inside and placing your nuts. We're not going to be needing to do that due to the fact that the inside of the frame is an open channel. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to place the bolt through here. Find our holes that are kind of pre-drilled. We're going to put it through using a large and a star washer. Reach up on the inside. place the two on top of each other there. Put a nut onto it. Okay, the transmission cross brace actually has two sets of different holes. You got a narrow set and you've got a wider set. The wider set's going to be facing towards the rear, the narrow set going to the front. So this will actually accept the correct transmission top hat. Now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to just be placing it right here on our side saddle mounts. Now notice at the same time you can actually place the bolt in either one of the slots, or if you need to on certain transmission applications you can move it forward, placing both bolts in the same slot, or vice versa, doing it in the rear. Alright, we've gone ahead and we've actually put a cross brace in here. We started the bolts from the bottom side of our brackets, the side saddle brackets, going upward, so you don't have nothing hanging down. Like I said, all four of them are kind of started. We're going to, again, just leaving everything loose so you can do the adjustment when you put your motor and transmission in. We're ready for our top hat, and we'll show that later on. Now what I've done is I've taken actually our cross brace, rear cross brace, getting ready to put that in. This strap that we were talking about that we used actually earlier in the chassis, we moved it to the rear just to kind of help position it. In your cross brace you're going to find some longer slots. That's going to actually be on the bottom side that you can again use for exhaust hangers or what have you. And we're just going to show you putting it into the back of the chassis. Kind of got it positioned in there. And you want to make this thing flush. That's all you want to do. We're going to be able to kind of put this into place, dropping it in here. Go ahead and get it all bolted down. This is after everything is done with your main cross braces and universal ones. Now you're able to go back through there and tighten everything down. Thanks a lot.